What's up, everybody? Gaonan here, and welcome to another episode of my co-drafting series, Drafting with Masters. Today, my guest is BarefootFarmer from the Farming Eternal podcast, which is a draft-focused podcast that aims to help players get better at draft. So, BarefootFarmer, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic.
Awesome. I wanted to have you on the show today because our shows are a little bit intertwined. I have been following you guys ever since you started up your podcast because it was another way to get eternal draft content on demand and not have to watch Twitch all the time. So I appreciated that you guys were going in a different medium than the common path these days. And where can people find Farming Eternal?
Yeah, so I do my show with Patrick, and Ben is our other friend who hasn't been on the show in voice yet, but he does a lot of the statistics work because we do a 7-win spreadsheet that kind of helps us inform a lot of our conversations during the podcast. So it's the three of us, and yeah, we started it just because we wanted some more eternal content out there, especially draft, because we have so much fun playing draft. But Patrick has got us on, I think, all of the supported podcasts like Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud is usually what I'm mostly promoting to people. But yeah, they can find us on any of those. It's just Farming Eternal. And if you have a 7-win deck list, send it to our email, which is farmingeternal@gmail.com. So,
Yes.
and we always make sure to give you guys shout outs. Occasionally, if we see something super wacky, we'll talk about it. But yeah, it helps us out a lot. It's kind of a community driven podcast above all, I'd say.
You guys need to get Ben on the show since he put up such a great showing at the Draft Masters Challenge this past weekend. That was awesome to see him. I think he made top 16, right?
He did do very well. I'm not surprised. I was actually talking to my wife, and she's like, "Oh, so the guy who's doing all the statistics did really well." She's like, "That's not surprising, right? Like, he's got intimate knowledge of what's doing well and everything almost all the time." So
That's
yeah,
funny.
I'm not surprised he's doing well. He's also just a great player too.
Yeah.
I'm going to be more of your sidekick today. I feel like as people are about to find out, your rank is quite high, and we're gonna try not to tank it.
That's a good segue. I've already completed my climb to masters this month. I'm currently sitting at rank 4, and our goal today is to try and push for number 1, possibly take over Isomorphic's throne. But the reason I started this series in particular was just because the thing I love about draft is there's a lot of different ways to draft, there's different ways to evaluate cards, and there's not always just one right answer for a pick and stuff like that. So I enjoy having other high level players come on here and talk about their thought process, get their thoughts about cards, and have some fun along the way. So, ready to get into it?
Yeah, man. I'm excited.
Cool. Let's get into our draft.
The card's jumping out at me. I mean, the rare. How would you pronounce this? Clodagh?
I would just say Clodagh.
I mean, a 2/2 quick draw for 2 is pretty solid, and
Mhm.
with that buff being permanent and scouts being pretty easy to come by, I'm really liking that. I think Outlaw Ringleader. I said in the last podcast the distant second place fire uncommon at the moment for me.
Behind Cannon.
Very, very distant behind Cannon. Cannon's stupid. I want that card nerfed, to be honest.
Yeah.
I
Cannon's
haven't lost
insane.
to it as much as I've won with it, and I still want it nerfed because holy moly.
Yeah.
Maybe just making it like more fire influence requirement or something, so that people can't splash it and kill you with their 2/2 flyer immediately.
We'll see if we get one. We'll get to talk more about it
Let's hope we
later.
get past one. So those two, Char is okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've been really impressed with Belligerent Yeti
Yep.
in a lot of decks. I just got a 7-win deck with a Rakano triple Furnish deck. Furnish is the fast spell primal 1 cost.
Oh, yeah.
Give them +3. And the thing is, it's at the onslaught it gives it +3, and
Yep.
regular it's +1. But you can play it mid combat to just blow them out. It's so good with things like Belligerent Yetis and the scouting Yeti.
Yep.
same. But yeah, it's a kind of a cool strategy you can fall into. Obviously, we're not going to do it here. So I mean, for right now, I'm voting between that rare and the red, the fire uncommon.
Yeah,
Also,
I haven't played with Outlaw Ringleader much. It seems good. I don't know. I don't love the stat line, but I think these twist guys are generally hard to evaluate. Like putting +4 on a flyer is going to
yeah,
end a game super fast.
yep, that's what I've
And
done with it before.
yeah, so that seems very reasonable. I like Clota a lot just because, like you said, 2/2 quick draw. There's a fair amount of fast spells. There's a fair amount of scout you can get. So
There's a
I
decent number of common weapons here or there. There's not
mm-hmm,
as many as there have been in previous formats, but
right. Yeah.
even suiting it up with an ice bow or something is probably going to get a lot of damage through.
Yeah, definitely. So I think I'm probably leaning towards Clota just to see how she plays out. But yeah, I definitely see the value in Ringleader. Yeah, and then commons, Char, Flash Grenade. I do like Belligerent Yeti quite a bit. I think it's probably underrated.
Vorlunk can be good
Yeah,
right
Vorlung's
there. It's
decent.
obviously not something you'd want to pick this early at all.
Yeah, and Alley
Yeah.
Guide I think is reasonable too. It's just a nice curve filler. So
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I love this whole cycle. The Justice one is the 2/3 Endurance Scout Shift 2. You've got
Yep.
the 3 cost Fire one that's a 3/4 Reckless Shift
Yep.
1. I guess the Time one is the 2/2 Shift 1 Scout
Yep. And
for
then there's a one
2.
one for Yeti in
That's
Primal,
right. Yeah. The 1
which is
4 for 3.
surprisingly really important for some decks. Just having a
Yes.
1/4.
Yeah, I mean
Anyway,
it's Scaligron with upside, right? So
yeah, I think so.
yeah. All right, let's go with Clota and see where we go. This is interesting. I mean, Dervish is I think really powerful.
Yeah.
A good 5 drop. I have not played with Unseen Ghostblade. Have you played with this or played against it much?
Yeah. I had a 7-win Argent Spell Matters deck
Okay.
that ran one of these to very very powerful effect. I don't think it's like a super high pick necessarily. It's
Yeah.
one of those slightly more fringely powerful cards, but I mean in general, a weapon that is going to pretty much always play a
A
unit.
body.
I
Yeah.
mean that onslaught trigger is quite easy to get. I like the dervish slightly more here,
Yeah.
especially since we have a fire card. I actually think the second best card is the Snowmass Jotun.
Really?
Potentially that or the Devotee of Sands.
Yeah,
They both stick out to me.
I think I'm much higher on Devotee than I am on Snowmass Jotun. I've not been like super impressed by just big dudes. I do like that he has warp and you can shift him for 5, so you're more likely to get that warp value.
Yeah, it can vary. It depends on kind of the how your deck develops. If you're even slightly more aggressive, you definitely have better options. But
Yeah.
there are some decks that you end up with a crazy amount of lightning strikes and stuff. You can
Yeah.
slow down your game plan and really. My my other 7-win from last night was totally different from the Rakano one. It was just Aurelian Control,
Uh-huh.
just really slow, grindy. Had some powerful top end stuff. I played a couple of these Snowmass Jotuns in that deck, and
Interesting.
they're plenty good enough. I mean, if you have 1/4s and things like that holding
Right.
down the ground, and then you get to chain off things like these, like these big old giants and stuff. You can
Mhm.
really, it's just another way to win. But
Yeah.
I like the dervish here. That's
Yeah, I
I
think I like the Dervish here too.
we both probably were immediately attracted to that one.
Yeah, I mean, I like Devotee quite a bit. I like Arcanum Elite. I like Coin, but yeah, I think just staying on color and staying the most open is probably the most valuable at this point. So, and
Yeah,
it's just, I mean,
just
it's a
just the
powerful card
rareness.
too. So, yeah, let's take Dervish and see if we keep getting fire. Okay, well, this pick is done.
All right. I mean, we could talk about the other
Yeah,
guy.
we can talk about it and we can talk about the other cards too.
I mean, this is a really powerful pack all around. I think Razor Quill, Behemoth,
Mm-hmm.
Tari Test Pilot, Stillweave Shroud is also an amazing uncommon.
Ooh, shiny.
I know, and it's shiny.
Yeah,
If the
still leave
cannon
is
if the
great.
cannon wasn't here, it'd be close for me between the two time cards, the Shroud and the Behemoth.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel like I'd probably take Shroud, but yeah, I love Behemoth. He's really strong. He's so good in a racing situation.
oh yeah, and defense.
Yeah.
I mean that's why a lot of these twist cards are so powerful is they're able to do whatever you're needing them to do with them. Like Razor Quill too can sit there and
Mm-hmm.
play great defense or just get in for the final points of damage. I've seen quite a few games end with Razor Quill
Yep.
pings,
Twisting 3 times. Yep. Exactly.
but this is the easiest pick ever.
Yeah.
This is unreal.
Definitely taking Heretics Cannon.
So somebody took an uncommon over that and a rare.
Yeah. So
So
it seems like fire is going to be wide open for us.
I'm having a yeah, having
Or if it's
good
not, I'll be
feelings.
really shocked.
Yeah, I don't think we're taking a fire card this time around.
Sadly, not.
I love Blood Nurse, though Blood Nurse isn't at its best in an aggressive
Mm-hmm.
fire deck as
Right.
much. Though if you can pick up some Warren Shields and stuff, Warren Shield is not bad on a Dervish or a Blood Nurse.
Yeah.
There's also Tremor Shockers, pretty good for time. Submerged Titan shows up from time to time. I'm not super impressed with that card, just because the shift cost is so expensive. Shift
Yeah.
4 is pretty prohibitive when you'd rather be developing your board at that point.
That's
Um,
interesting. I feel like I've been valuing the Submerged Titan pretty highly because I kind of look at this card as bare arms already on a body, And that was a super powerful card in set 5. And so I kind of value the Titan pretty highly. I think it's probably my pick here, honestly. Even though it can be a little slow to come online, but I've found myself in these more go wide strategies where you can, play the oozes and stuff like that to really pump up Titan and just hold the ground with him while your opponent can't do anything.
yeah, well, that's interesting. I mean, there's also Granite Coin isn't a horrible pick either.
Yeah,
Just on its own, it's a good card. It still might be a little early to take it over a playable unit, though.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, of the coins, it is middle of the road. Like, obviously, Cobalt is pretty high. I think Emerald is pretty high. And then Granite's probably the next one. And then the Time one that creates a body for you. And then poor old Amethyst coin just being terrible.
It's got the shaft down there.
Like, why
It
could
doesn't do any value creating.
yeah,
Well, there's got to be a worst one
yeah,
at some point
yeah.
or another.
Submuddy's got to be the worst. And who be it to not be Shadow, right?
Yeah. The argument for Submerged Titan over Tremor Shocker is that Submerged Titan can be played on 3
Hmm.
and curved into other things a little more efficiently. Requires less influence.
Yeah.
Though I think on average, Tremor Shocker in a shifting situation is gonna
Is going to
probably
be
hit
be
harder.
bigger than the Titan by the time you
Yeah.
get to turn 7. Yeah, that's probably true.
So, but this is ultimately you're the captain of this boat.
Yeah, no, I mean I do enjoy Blood Nurse too, but like you said, I think she's better positioned in more of a defensive shell, and we're seeming pretty aggressive at this point, so that's why I kind of lean away from her. I don't think I would ever pick Expedition Leader just because the body is so bad and the amount of shift that you get is fairly negligible. So yeah, I guess it is between Tremor, Shocker, and Titan for me. I think I'm going to lean towards Titan, but you did make me think quite a bit as far as, on turn 7. I feel like I'll be looking now when we play the games, if we end up in Praxis or whatever,
Yeah.
how big Submerged Titan is by turn 7, or did I get damage in with Submerged Titan where I would have been waiting for Tremor Shocker still, or, what's that value? Because I think the other thing about Submerged Titan is you're getting potential onslaught value with it, where you can't get that with Tremor Shocker earlier.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing I haven't thought about too much. I've just kind of been valuing the Titan fairly highly, so could be wrong though. But I'm going to take it here and see what comes next. I'm hoping for
Sounds good.
honestly more aggressive cards.
Well, insignia is a good sign.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know. What are we losing? I know you've been having success splashing like cobalt coins occasionally.
yeah.
It's not a bad route to take.
Yeah, I feel like there's some premium aggressive cards here between Angry Prophet and Svetya's Faithful too. Prophet's a little awkward because generally it's just going to have the 2 toughness. So he actually, for me, shines a little bit more on defense because he can just trade up at later points in the game. Whereas Svetya's Faithful is more like, I just want to go and smash my opponent in the face. Obviously, that takes us away from the Submerged Titan play, but I don't know if I really
But yeah,
care.
that's not a huge loss. No.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I'm more looking at how can I make our deck more aggressive. Don't get me wrong, I love Cobalt Coin. It has been fantastic for me for splashing, and it's it's just another piece of removal in your deck basically, and it costs you a little bit of consistency, but it seems like most of the influence costs are pretty low.
Profit hits a little harder potentially with cannon, but
That's true.
it's profit's a little situational, I'd say.
Yeah, I
Maybe,
mean,
but Svetius Faithful also semi situational as well.
right. I just think it's easier to trigger that onslaught than it is to guarantee that you're going to have a board.
Late game, the nod goes towards Faithful for having warp,
Yeah,
so that you
so you
don't
can
have
get a
to
card
waste a
deeper.
yep, you don't have to waste a draw on it.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, do you think it's worth taking Faithful here over the insignia and coin and things like that?
I haven't had a whole lot of success with the Svetius Faithful, but I also haven't tried it very much. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm. This is another one of those. Gonna leave it up to you. It's pretty close, I think. Obviously, like you said, all we have is the Titan in time. Though insignias and stuff, I do really like having them.
Yeah.
Uh, it just depends on whether or not we would rather just pick up something more playable potentially.
Yeah,
Since
it's
our secondary color, I have hard trouble just imagining we're gonna be not fire. So we're definitely fire,
right,
which
exactly.
which
That
means at
like
this
that's the
point
only
we're
thing
just
I'm
kind of
sold on at this point is
yeah.
that I'm
Then
definitely fire, but
yeah.
yeah, I think I'm
Well,
going to
let's
take
go with the
Faithful and
okay.
see, it gives us kind of 2 lanes to go in, and maybe we picked 2 wrong ones. I don't know. We'll see.
No, it's all good. I like High Alert actually, but I
Yeah.
don't know if it's better than like a Rallying Surgeon and a Fire deck. That card plus Cannon seems like a game ender.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. I wasn't thinking about the curve of Sergeant into Cannon because that's a real thing. Whereas something like High Alert, Warp Fast Spell is like holy value.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
I mean, it does cost 4, so it can be awkward, but I think I value the trick potential more than I value Rallying Sergeant, even though that Rallying Sergeant into Heretics Cannon combination sounds disgusting.
Yeah, I do think 4 toughness is kind of a sweet spot in
Yeah.
general though. It blocks most of the 3, even a lot of the 4 drops and stuff pretty profitably. And the onslaught's pretty easy to trigger. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's serviceable. It's not a high tier common necessarily, but it's
Yeah.
quite playable. But I think High Alert, like you said, has greater upside. Like the moments when it's gonna be really good are it's gonna be really good. Like
Yeah.
this rallying sergeant is replaceable potentially.
Switching gears a little bit. Have you
Yeah.
played Spell Strike Sorceress at all? Have you played Muck Crawler at all? Do you have any thoughts about these cards?
Muck crawler I would probably not ever touch.
Yeah.
Just it just seems too risky. It seems like the type of card maybe in pack 4 if
Uh-huh.
you had a deck that was really overloaded with a shifted aggressive bent,
Yeah.
which they can you can find those. I think it would be worthwhile, but I would never waste an early pick on that card just
Right.
because the buff is not permanent.
Yep. Yeah,
I feel
very
like it
true.
should be like a trigger, like it's +2/+2 if you have a shifted unit. Spell Strike Sorceress I've played. I played in my 7-win Argenport Spells Matter deck
Okay.
where it was pretty good there, but generally I think there's some better cards.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I haven't been super impressed with Sorceress, and I haven't touched Muck Crawler at all for basically the reasons you said. So
Warfront Missionary I've played more than either of those two cards.
that's
The
funny. Yeah, he's
just
a
the
good.
vanilla 1/3 for 1 is great for onslaught
I
triggers,
mean, right? Yeah, if
basically.
a 1/4 is decent, why can't a 1/3 be good?
It would probably make our deck potentially if we got another Svetia's Faithful or something.
Mm-hmm.
Some
Yep.
other way to some other onslaught units potentially. But I like the high alert.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for the high alert here.
Yeah, some
But that
counter.
is interesting to think about the sergeant for sure.
Wow. Oh man, this is tough. That's a really late eviscerate.
Yeah, I don't think I'm drawn like away from justice just because I feel like eviscerate is going to be too high up the curve for what we're wanting to do. I mean, maybe if we see more shadow cards coming, but like, last pack we saw Muck Crawler and I can't remember any other shadow cards before that that really caught my eye.
Yeah.
So I
Well, we know
probably
we
just
know Sergeant's probably pretty good in this deck.
yeah, exactly.
Eviscerate is not a bad top end for an aggressive deck.
Yeah.
Um, just having a kill spell is a great way to finish off your curve.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, I think
But
I would take Sergeant here. Have you played Needle Spitter at all?
I have not. No, I've seen people play it, but it wasn't very impressive. There's a lot of weapon, like relic weapons and stuff that just
Mm,
kill it. I don't
yeah.
know. I've seen that. I've had that happen multiple. Played like a twin Psy or something and just
Yep.
killed it, and just got extra value because it doesn't you know it
Doesn't
doesn't
have any
block
value. Yeah.
particularly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, cool. Yeah, let's take the rallying sergeant and continue down this Ricano path we've started.
we'll get the hit for 14 overwhelm damage with
Hey.
the cannon. Oh wow, nice. Okay, this is a good sign.
Yeah.
That Justice is definitely open because both Paladin and Flash Grenade are really good.
Yeah, how do you evaluate between these two? I mean, flash grenade obviously a great trick can really cause some blowouts, but a little bit situational in that if you're the aggressor, like, maybe you're just messing up their block math, but it's not necessarily pumping one of your guys. Like it can't go face like I like most of my fast spells to do.
I think
And
it's more likely to be cut from your final deck than the Paladin.
yeah, I feel like Paladin free onslaught triggers are fantastic. Like whether it's a small flyer or a steadfast paladin or something like that, we have cards that care about us attacking. So I think I lean towards paladin here.
Yeah, definitely. Coastal Blade Barrier is a common that's hard to evaluate. I think it's a situationally powerful card, but
Yeah.
generally you don't want to pick it too early. Yeah, there's just more consistently powerful 3 drops everywhere.
hmm What
But
about
yes, Steadfast Paladin just beats down, so I like that.
yeah, I think I like that here too. What about Brent's scrying? Is this ever worth a slot in your deck, or are you diluting your deck because you've now decided to play something that is basically not a card?
This is the type of card that feels really bad to have.
Yeah.
When you can like occasionally scout it off the top, and if you had like the needle scouting guy, and
Mm-hmm.
you got a Clodaw to pump with it,
Yeah, true.
that's that's horrible. Yeah, definitely Paladin here.
Okay. So
That's
we just
not
shake this
much.
up to an anomaly, right? No justice, no fire.
Yeah, yeah. This is just a weird pack.
I guess I take
I suppose the easier to cast of the two cards.
Crasher. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Another paladin. Do you like that
Yeah.
more than Psy? How do you feel about
I,
Psy?
I like Psy. I think with the style of deck, it looks like we're building just top loading with solid 2 drops and triggering onslaught and
Mm-hmm.
just keeping on this aggressive game plan sounds really good.
Yeah.
I think that we have the building blocks for a really nice Ricano aggro deck at this point, and I think Paladin would both Paladins at this point would make it for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. What the first time I saw a Psy, I thought Mithril Mace, because that's still in the curated packs, right?
Yeah, it is.
Like, why? I don't understand why both these cards exist.
They wanted to support. There is like an armor matters sub theme,
Yeah,
kind of secretly lurking in the background of the format.
secretly trapping noobs.
Yeah, I haven't seen it work come to much, mainly because it's not that hard to answer by just hitting them with a unit and killing their.
By doing exactly what you want to do, hit face. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it just seems odd to me that both those cards are in the format. And, I've never been a huge fan of Mithril Mace. And this is likely to get you less value unless you're warping it off the top of your deck. You're pretty unlikely to get a 2-for-1 with this. So, I
yeah.
don't know.
It's decidedly like slightly below medium for me.
Yeah.
Like I'll play a twin sire or even two in my deck if it's I'm stretching for playables.
Hmm.
Because relic weapons are always solid.
Yeah.
Like they're never bad. You never draw one and go, oh, what am I going to use this to do?
Right.
It's like pretty much always does a good job, or even forces a bad attack potentially. Or
Hmm. Yeah.
sometimes gains you 3 life in a critical moment.
Yep.
But
True.
I
All
would
right.
rather play a 2-drop that can't die.
Yes. Yeah. Let's do that. How do you feel about Curator? I mean, we're going to pick it here, obviously, but have you had
Don't,
success with
no,
them?
not a huge fan of it in
Yeah.
an aggressive deck,
Right.
especially.
Because it's more of a defensive card. Like a 4/4 for 4 is probably pretty solid in this format, given that a lot of your 3 drops, you've got 2 drops that are 3/3s and stuff like that. But the fact that he's most of the time not going to attack, you can't use a fast spell to give him the ability to attack. Like, you have to have already played the spell, so it's just super awkward. I mean, I guess it's good if you've got like some proactive removal like Streets of Flame or Char, and then you're just charging this guy in too. Like, that seems great, but other than that, yeah, it's just defensive.
Oh, let's take it and not play it.
Needle
There's
Spitter.
no-
And we have like 0 scout.
Hey, well, there's a cave diver for scouting.
Yeah, we got Cave Diver, Lingering Influence for
Oh, Bright
scouting,
Mace Paladin, though.
Paladin, yeah. All these are solid.
Bright Mace Paladin is especially good with High Alert.
Very true. How do you, I mean, so this would be another 2-drop in our deck, +2 while you have a relic, so that's never going to happen in our deck unless we have a relic weapon or something like that, probably.
This is looking like a Bright Mace Paladin deck to me.
Yeah, yeah, I
Because we're
think
definitely
so.
going to be keeping our eyes out for combat tricks, most likely,
Yeah, and I
and
mean,
looking
if
for
we
the
can get the
weapons.
+1/+1 scout, the permanent +1/+1,
Oh, yeah.
that would be fantastic in our deck. So yeah, I think Paladin is easy here, but I feel like both of these, if we see these cards again, like, we're probably pretty happy to have those. But I'm wondering
Yeah,
if Clota is just going to be a 2/2 for us, which is probably fine.
it's good enough.
Just Battle
Nice.
Mage, right? Or do you like try and splash for Permafrost? Probably not in an aggressive deck.
I mean, yeah, I can't see a reason to do it with how beautifully consistent this deck is looking at the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
I'm not the greediest of players, and in this format, when I have actually gone 3 faction quite often,
Really?
but those decks were always big decks with lots of splashing for removal and stuff.
Gotcha, gotcha.
They were never this focused and aggressive.
Yeah, yeah.
I,
So I
I I
mean,
I just this is like the type of deck that I love drafting above all.
oh yeah, absolutely. Aggression is my favorite thing, so I'm glad we're back to a more aggressive format that's not so focused on multiple colors. So yeah, I think that's part of why I've been having success. So, is there anything that you would take over Battle Mage here, or is it easy Battle Mage at this point?
No, yeah, I mean permafrost is the only thing even close.
Right.
I mean Wormstone's not bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty good in the format at the moment too.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot that can deal with the 7/7.
Yeah.
And I lost a game recently to somebody just chaining off wormstones, and then played an
Mm.
excavator into bringing a wormstone back into immediately triggering it the next turn. It was just they played an excavator into an excavate, which is
Oh
even
my
worse.
gosh.
So they excavated back a wormstone, played it, used an excavate to pop it to bring a wormstone back. It was like, okay, this is
This
getting out
game's
of hand.
over. Yeah.
I lost
Woof.
that. I lost that game pretty bad.
Woo. All
But
right.
yeah, I like the battle mage a lot.
Yeah. Battle Mage is sweet.
They
And
and so they took a common over these cards.
yeah, that's interesting.
It's really hard to imagine what common is better than permafrost and battle mage.
Is it? I mean, I'm
This
trying to.
probably means primal's open, for the record. I guess.
Yeah, I would think so.
I don't think we are in a position to pivot
Right. I
at
don't think
this
we are
point.
either, sadly.
I'm all for staying open really late into pack two, but this draft is not one of those drafts.
All right, let's take Battle Mage. See, I'm so curious what else is coming our way. Just
All
another
right.
solid 2-drop.
That or axe, I guess. Axe on a steadfast paladin is pretty good. Just being able to get in for more damage
Yeah.
and putting him out of ping range for weird yetis and pitfall traps and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
It's
I th-
not bad.
yeah, I think I'd rather just take the soldier, but I can see the argument for axe. But I feel like the more aggressive, the better. Why not?
See, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 drops.
Yeah. So this will make
Just
5.
yeah, I'm perfectly comfortable in an aggressive deck playing upwards of 7
Yep.
2 drops.
Just Silverwing Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems
Tower Top
pretty.
Patrol with some extra text.
Yeah,
It's no Tall Ride Test Pilot, but it's
hey,
uh
it's
it
cheaper than
combos
test.
well with Tall Ride Test Pilot, so
Yeah, you're right. Maybe we'll get some of those pack four.
yeah, I mean Shadow Extract being here is weird. Maybe the person ahead of us is in time, I really don't know.
It's hard to say. All right. Well, there's our
Hey.
sharpened reflex. I think that's our pick here.
Yeah, I mean the only other thing that I would even think about is probably Blink Wolf, but we have plenty
Yeah.
of solid 2-drops and we're likely to get more solid 2-drops. I rather have the trick that has a little bit of synergy in our deck, so
Man, when you put sharpened reflex next to grandfather's axe, it makes the axe look a lot worse.
yep, Axe is pretty
Especially
bad.
in this situation, in this deck specifically too. We're really looking to stay. Uh,
Low to the ground.
yep. And
Yeah.
I think sharpened reflex is looking beautiful with this deck.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, having the ability to scout in an aggressive deck is like, oh my gosh, just let me keep curving out, please. Like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah, and for any new players watching, wondering why we're uncommon combat trick, it's because it's not a fast spell.
Yes.
Encouragement. Otherwise, would be bonkers.
Yep.
That card would
This
be
card would be
unreal.
insane.
But it's slow, so it's not bad in our deck. It would almost make this type of
Mm-hmm.
list. But I think sharpened reflex, having the scout plus it costing one less, plus
And
it being a permanent buff, it's really good.
yep. Yeah, exactly. Lingering influence here? Do you ever play
Yeah,
Armor Smith?
I would never play.
I
Not for any reason.
mean, the nice thing about Lingering Influence for us, we have some double justice cards, so it's not irrelevant. It's got Scout, and it's one less power we'll have to play in our
Oh,
deck. So,
scout triggers Clodagh,
exactly.
and being a spell triggers battle mage. Is
And
yeah, it
Curator.
does plenty of things for this deck.
Yeah.
And blank.
I guess we'll take Dustblind for potential finisher, but
Sure. Hey, check that out though.
take that seat, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That is a gift.
Easy fixing. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Front
And
runner?
yeah, sure.
The end of this pack. I mean, the
This
good
happens.
thing is that this is normal for this draft environment. Like you get to
Yeah,
the
and
end of these
pack.
packs.
Yeah, pack one went so well. I'm expecting pack four is going to be pretty good for us too.
Yeah.
Alright, get out of here, nonsense. I feel like we just want flyers in this format.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. He's just free onslaught triggers. Brute is interesting, but less consistent in our deck. The ground gets stalled pretty frequently, so I don't think you're going to get much value off this guy. I'd rather just have a
There,
little
there's a
flyer.
lot of there's a lot of effects that make 1/1s on the board,
Right.
like go wide stuff that
Hmm.
makes Brute just horrible. Yeah, I think the flyer is definitely the pick.
And is there any reason to pick Mace over Smith here or anything like that?
No, no, not when we can make such use of a flyer.
Yeah, cool. Holy cow. So another battle mage?
Yeah, I can't. I mean, Diplomatic Seal's a good card, but I don't think our deck has mana problems. I mean,
Yeah,
influence problems.
exactly.
So, yeah, I'm down for another Battle Mage.
Do you like Blinky Wolf? Do you value him?
To a certain degree,
Yeah,
it's a good filler to drop,
yeah.
but it's not impressive or anything.
And how do you feel about Tinker? Like, is this card ever good?
Tinker is the type of card that's always kind of given me trouble
Yep.
in my assessment of it because I'm such an old school like value player from Magic that I've had to kind of a completely different approach for Eternal because
Hmm.
so much of it is like playing weak setup cards for super powerful effects and stuff.
Hmm.
And I do think there are certain moments where Tinkers can be really good. Like sometimes you put it on a what's the owl that's a lifelink flying Aegis, things like that.
Right. Yeah.
If you get your triggers on units like that, it makes up for the loss of uh, actual card advantage. It
Hmm.
scouts, so it pumps our Clodo.
Yeah.
But it's still there's no way I'd pick it over a solid unit. It's
Also
looking like
weird.
this deck might just be nothing but 2 and 3 drops in
Yeah,
combat.
which I ain't upset about, but
No, and a Heretics Cannon, which hopefully we get a second one of.
yeah. Another
Oh,
lingering influence. I don't think we play manufacture. I mean, we could, but
we don't have anything to splash off that seed, so
yeah, sadly.
manufacturer's looking uh, really weak in this deck. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say another lingering influence. Though I'm not sure if we'd end up playing two.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Oh my goodness.
Wow,
There's our splash.
that is a late East Color Amulet.
I mean, another Silverwing Smith, right?
I think yeah.
Like we're not
There's
taking Spitfire and we're not pivoting here.
no yeah.
This
Now
is
now I'm looking how many
th-
quality three
yeah, I
drops
know,
we
right?
have. It's kind of getting ridiculous. Let's take the Silverwing Smith and see if we can pull together something interesting to do with them.
Man, there's our other Shadow Splash.
Yep.
Do you actually play Light 'em Up here?
Light them up.
Probably
Can't say
not.
I've never put that in a deck.
It was
So I don't.
actually in one of my 7-0 win decks, but I was just low on
Nice.
playables, honestly.
Oh, you just needed a little extra.
And the one time I played it, it only buffed one unit, so it didn't matter. It won, but
Well, I think here it's kind of interesting. Warren Shield is obviously very powerful in this format.
hmm
Maybe not as powerful in this specific list that we have going here.
right.
Right now we have no playable fours, so Copper Hall Recruit might be
Yeah.
a potential play. Though I would almost rather just play more of the good 3 drops than add a crappy 4 drop.
Yeah.
Because, the cheaper units are, the more you can cast.
Any reason to pick up Spire Spell Sword? Like, would we ever play that? Would we be that aggressive? Probably not.
Probably not with the way our deck is looking at them.
Yeah. All right, let's take the recruit. Finally, thank you.
Wow, that's a really nice pickup.
Been waiting for this. Like the Cloda's best friend.
Clota, Steadfast Paladins, Bright Mace Paladin, Battle
Mm-hmm.
Mages, Silver Rings. All the units are so good and aggressive.
Yeah.
I've been like having my fingers crossed for machetes and stuff the whole time.
Yeah, I know, me too. I'm like,
It's good we
where are
finally
the
got one.
machetes? But yeah,
Nice.
fantastic. Okay, so this time we could take the mace.
Definitely Mace.
Because, I mean, holy cow, if we got 3 Silver Smiths out, this becomes a 3/7 weapon.
Yeah, I think Mace is probably making the deck right now.
Yeah, I think so, for sure. It's just some solid removal for us at the top. Get those last points of damage in. Ooh, Arbalest,
Oh,
nice.
all right. Okay.
Definitely better than Cloud of Ash, right?
Now that you mention it, Cloud of Ash is looking pretty nice in this deck.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's necessary. Like, between the Flyers and the Heretics cannon, like, I feel like those are going to be better finishers for us than Cloud of Ash, and
Kind of play
Arbalest
a
being able to
similar
get
role.
like 1 or 2 guys out of the way.
Yeah, we don't have anything in the way of removal at this point either.
Yeah, I mean, it's just tricks,
I
basically.
like your
So,
comparison of Cloud of Ash to something like Heretics Cannon because they do kind of do a similar sort of. Uh,
right. It's just a
kind
game ending thing.
yep, this game-ending effect. Obviously, Cannon's a little easier to set up.
Yeah.
It's like, did you play? You have a unit on the board. Yeah, let's go with the weapon for sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I really dislike Downfall. I like.
I
There's.
do too. We take it, but probably don't play it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's just not enough big dudes in this format to warrant playing it. Alright, a lot of nothing. Ooh. Oh,
Retribution.
Retribution, hello. Didn't
Yep,
see it. I was distracted at the top for a second.
I think that's an easy retribution.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have any shift guys. So, like, this guy, incredible curve with Nimble Conscript, the 3/4 Reckless Shift for 1. Really good there. But, yeah, Retribution. It's Slay. So, we talked
It
about it
is.
on the episode. It's great. And we don't have enough spells to make Svetya's Sanctum worthwhile, so.
Yeah, what's our unit count at the moment? We're pretty good, right?
Yeah, we're
16.
at 16, so we
Well,
need a
then the
we need a
needle
couple
spinner's
more. Yeah,
maybe,
Needle Spitter will be out, but
and curator also.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we would preferably like be right around here, I think.
So we could still use a few more solid units.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Preferably with Scout. Like if we could get the mining team, that would be decent because that's more 2 drops. Or there's plenty of good stuff to get here. So yeah, Retribution is sweet. Cool. Ooh, daring maneuver. Ooh, nimble conscript. Ooh,
Yeah,
emerald coin.
tough pick. I think I like either of the fire cards.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
I
we just
think so.
talked about how we were kind of still looking for an aggressive unit.
Mm-hmm.
Conscript is definitely that.
Yeah,
Kind of fits the bill. I do like daring maneuver, but I think this looks like a really solid conscript script deck.
yeah. How do you feel about heist? Have you ever played this card? Would you play this card?
I would no. There's no way I'd ever.
So it's like
It's
as bad as the zero cycle that was in set 5 that was like doing
it's
things to your hand.
yeah. It's on par with those cards.
Okay.
I don't think the warp matters theme is so powerful that this card is playable either.
All right, yeah, let's take the nimble conscript. I mean, we are still looking for decent bodies, and this is above average body, obviously. So,
Yeah. I mean, I would take a daring maneuver later, hopefully.
yeah, I know. That'd be. Oh,
Oh,
over cannon, faithful, conscript, maneuver. I just gotta
killing
take
it
the
in
legendary
time.
for constructed, right?
No, get out of here. Heretics Cannon.
Yeah,
Best uncommon by a humongous margin.
yeah.
That's
Crazy.
that's that's really great.
Ooh, Oni Patrol. Is that better
Yeah.
than Flash Grenade?
For this deck,
I feel like it is.
probably.
We still need more units, too.
We could definitely make use of him.
And too bad we didn't get our Shadow Splash.
Yeah, I like the Oni Patrol.
Yeah, I think so, too.
We got, Steadfast Paladins triggering it and stuff pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. 3-2 for 1. If Argenport Soldier is good, then Oni Patrol is going to be good. Ooh, Blurry Chaser. That's awesome. You take that here over Innermite?
What's our spell count? We're at 5.
We have 5 spells. So I don't think this is going to be like for 3, you're
For
probably going to
3
get
on
plus
average, it's yeah, plus
2.
2 probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'd
Which,
rather just have Blurry Chaser, which synergizes with Clota and is another great 2-drop.
Blurry Chaser is a great way to finish off with a cannon.
That's very true.
I've put cannon on Blurry Chaser before in one game.
Wow.
So let's just go with the really solid 2-drop. We're hitting our number of 2-drops we were hoping to get.
Yeah. This time we take the coin.
Yeah, I don't think we are playing any of this other stuff.
Wow. This last pack has been good for us. This is a tough pick, yeah?
It is. This is probably the toughest pick we've faced. Deck has kind of built itself to a certain degree.
Yeah. I'm looking at units here that are in our pool and thinking, how bad do I need this Svetya's Faithful? Am I okay to potentially play,
Like Copper Hall Recruit is
yeah,
solid.
like Copper
Might
Hall
make
Recruit? I'll be 17 already, so I'm not desperate for the unit. Would I rather have the trick at this point of either Flash Grenade or High Alert?
this is gonna be all you.
I feel like people are super high on Flash Grenade, and the times that I've had it, I have not been super impressed with it. I have lost to it one time, so I know it's decent, but
It's like varying degrees of effect. I mean, like its most powerful moments are pretty incredible for a one cost flash spell,
right,
and that's probably a lot of people are kind of judging it
rating
based
it
on
on
that.
that. Yeah, exactly.
Whereas it's harder to judge it based on its average effect, which
Hmm.
is slightly worse than I think some people think. But
Yeah.
it's also, I mean, like I think the podcast we just had come out, I called it my third favorite common, and
Mm.
justice behind retribution and test pilot, which is probably still the case. Though I got to say, I do like these 2-drops we have in our deck.
Yeah. Just getting another 3/3 for 2 even seems reasonable, but I don't know.
Are we thinking we're going to play both of the lingering influences to get us to cannon power?
Probably, yeah. I mean, we're probably playing 15 power in this deck at this point, like plus the 2 lingering influence.
You want to go that low? 15 plus those two?
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We got a decent amount of
Yeah,
scout.
if you're thinking that low to the ground, I would definitely take the high alert then over the 2-drop.
Yeah.
But yeah, it depends on how you're seeing this final product here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see, like, we might not play both of these relic weapons. I feel like we're going to be pretty low to the ground. Like, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 and 2 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 3 drops.
That's a lot of 3
That's
drops.
a lot of 3 drops. And then,
But 3 drops are also 4 drops.
yeah, basically. 3 drops plus holding up lingering influence or sharpened reflex.
Yeah.
Or flash grenade if we happen to take that. But so what's your thought process in if we're super low to the ground, like 15 power plus the 2 lingering influence? Why do you take high alert here over faithful and flash grenade?
I think so. Our game plan is built a lot around these heretics cannons,
Hmm.
which means having a game plan that's like just trying to get them as low as possible and then finish the game off with the cannon on like a flyer
Yeah.
or something sounds like that's going to be. And I feel like Svetya's Faithful furthers that goal
Yeah.
slightly more. Though that could make use of a flash grenade at this point, just considering how much we're already packed at the 2 and 3 spot.
Because like our opponent is gonna be forced into blocks they don't want to take. Like they're gonna know we have a fast spell and they're going to be forced to make a decision like I have to block now because otherwise I'm just going to die. And Flash Grenade is good in those situations because they're going to try and take the best blocks possible, which won't end up being good with Flash Grenade. I don't know. Like, this is crazy that pick 43 is like the hardest pick we've had.
Do you like how I was like, this is the hardest pick yet, and then I go, all up to you.
Yeah, yeah.
All you, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. That's
All
that's
right,
not
all
how
right.
this show works.
Okay, all right. I say we go with the flash grenade then.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, I just haven't been super impressed with the card, but maybe this is the one where it's gonna like turn it around for me. So
If you want to replace like one of the slower, like maybe the arbalest or the mace,
yeah,
with the potential for a flash grenade, just because we're being able to play multiple both units and spells in the same turn is really
holy crap!
powerful. All right, we'll take a Warhawk.
Like,
Sounds
this
good.
card is fantastic. I love this card. It's so
Yeah,
good.
I would definitely rather play that Warhawk, even the
Copperhall
Copperhall,
recruit. Yep.
something like that.
Do you
Ooh.
take Sizzleback? I mean, I think we take Sizzleback.
Salamander is so okay. Berserk is really broken with cannon. It
Yes,
is
Berserk
really
is
broken.
stupid with cannon.
So yeah, let's take the Salamander.
Do we
I
actually
think
play it though? That's the question.
maybe it is. I mean, Berserk is just it ends the game with cannon on the spot, basically.
Okay, cool. Pick 43, hardest pick. Good stuff. So this could technically be the deck right here if you just add power and go. We could make one cut and we'd be good if we want to go 16 power plus the 2 lingering influence, right?
Make one more cut, 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
So
In
19
that case,
units.
I think we want to cut one of. If we're running that low of a power count, we definitely want to cut one of the fives.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at probably Mace. Or do you think
It's
Mace
kind
is
of
better than
interesting.
Arbalest?
Yeah, I've always kind of had trouble comparing the two because it seems like the Arbalest hits a little harder initially,
Mm-hmm.
but then coming back in for the second hit is just super weak.
True.
Mace is just maybe just a hair better in more situations, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
this
interesting.
this
I've
is something
probably
I'd like to hear other people's opinions on it because I feel like I've always had trouble figuring it out.
I think I've always valued Arbalest higher, and the reason being is because it hits harder. Because you can't guarantee that you're going to get that 2-for-1. So the fact that it comes in harder and can, get that bigger threat out of the way, I think I've traditionally valued Arbalest higher. But I see your point in if I'm trying to get more value or if I know that I can get more value, Mace is going to be better on average because
Yeah,
you're going to get two higher value targets. The combination of those two targets that you kill is probably higher than the two Arbalest targets that you're hitting, unless they've twisted something down to 1 health or something like that.
right. So Arbalest, if we're just looking to clear the way, kind of does a better job just straight up impact right when you play it. But
Right.
so yeah, we got triple Silverwing Smith, which is an argument for the mace
Yes, I think it is.
because it makes it a little more reusable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know, but I do think I would probably cut one. I like just going this crazy wild, just load the board up and make combat really difficult for our opponents.
Yep. Yeah, put them in awkward spots. Yeah, I think where I would normally have kept Arbalest, I think I'm going to keep Mace here. Because, yeah, I think with the Silverwing Smiths, you're more likely to get that 2-for-1. But we'll see how it plays out. When we get Mace, we'll have to think about it and say, would Arbalest have done better here? But, so this is our deck. 6, 7 fire?
10,
That
7,
seems
10, and
kind of
7.
low. This is 10 justice.
I would probably go Yeah, down one justice, up one
Especially
fire.
with the lingering influence. Like, we're going to find the justice. I mean, yes, you have to have one justice to play lingering influence, but
Yeah, and a lot of our most important two drops.
our
Well,
fire.
two of our best ones are fire,
Yep.
so definitely want to be hitting that.
Cool. So I think this is our deck. Any thoughts, concerns before we hop into games or anything like that?
I mean, I'm slightly concerned with going down to 16 power when we're trying to hit cannon
Yes.
consistently. So that would be my only thing. Is I almost feel like maybe we should cut another unit for another power, but
So,
I this is yeah.
how do you evaluate lingering influence in this situation? Do you not see it as a power, or because I
In
can
an in an aggressive deck, it's harder to say that they're equivalent. Like I think
yeah,
lingering influence, like a lot of hands, you're going to be like, okay, come on, if I just draw a power, I'm curving out perfectly, and then you draw
right,
a lingering influence, and you're like, it's just a depleted power essentially.
right. Yep.
So yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's not just a straight 1-to-1. I've always kind of felt that way. I know a lot of people just like view seek powers and stuff as just
Yeah.
essentially the same as a power, but they're not quite.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is a good discussion because I think that is a really good point that when you're in a very aggressive deck and you just want to hit that 3 drop on time, you just want to drop your Coastal Beastmaster and you draw the Lingering Influence. Yes, you're getting your power, but it's not going to be on time like you're getting to do what you want to do. So I could actually see cutting another unit for power because I feel like the units that I see on the chopping block would be Copperhall Recruit, Sizzleback Salamander, like
No, not the salamander.
probably not the Salamander because it is stupid good with cannon if like you've got a wide open board or something like that. But so I
Well,
probably
with
just cut
cannon,
Recruit.
what's the math? It does eight. It does 8 plus 16 damage.
Yeah, four,
That's,
8. So
it's
it'd
doing
be
24. It does 24 damage with the cannon on.
wait, is that right? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because it's already 4, so it goes to 8, and then yeah, it goes to 16. Holy cow! Oh, yeah. Try surviving that opponent.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
Okay, so should we just cut the Copperhole recruit here and go up another fire?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I like making sure that we get cannon online whenever it's ready.
Yeah. Getting to 6 either way, even if we don't have the can, is going to be good for us because it means we're going to be able to play 2 guys a turn and stuff
Exactly.
like that.
Yep.
So
Yeah. It's unless we flood out completely, which hopefully we won't. And lingering influence and being able to scout and stuff should
yeah,
uh
smooth that out.
help with that problem.
Yeah, we've got how many scouts do we have? We have one. Well, I'll count this as one
Um,
technically.
Steadfast Paladin too with cannons. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's so many like really powerful things happening.
2
That
scout,
we
3,
really
4
just
scout,
want to
5
make sure
scout.
that we can play a cannon and we win the game. This
Cool.
deck is winning without cannon, I might add.
Yeah, exactly. I think this deck, like, yes, cannon is great. Honestly, busted and probably needs a nerf, but put 2 more backpackers machetes in the deck over cannon, and I think this deck is just as powerful.
Right.
Or maybe not just as powerful, but it's up there. It's
Pretty
still going to
similar.
do its
Oh
thing.
yeah, that's an interesting way to put it too.
All right, cool. Any other thoughts before we hop into games?
No, I'm good.
Cool.
I'm excited.
Just want to close out this drafting and deck building portion of the episode with Barefoot Farmer by saying thank you for being here. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner of this video. And what'll happen next is we'll go into the games video and see how the deck plays out. So I hope to see you in my next video.